Hey everyone, welcome back. We drew that really, to me, very interesting Badger Power Animals card, reminding us of the importance of perseverance. So for me, that's a really helpful card right now. There's a few things that I'm sure we all have these things in our lives that like no would be something I'd really enjoy doing in the long run or even in the moment. But for whatever reasons, right, there's this resistance about doing these things that we know are really good for us. Or maybe it's about not doing things that we know are not good for us, right? So, whatever that may be, we all have those things in our lives. So, I thought it would be very fitting to work with a yoga practice, a short yoga practice today, just working with that idea of perseverance in our life because we have so many tools available to us in yoga with movement and especially breath that can really help us in the moment to move through those moments of challenge. And for a lot of us, that challenge is resistance for whatever reasons. So, to start today, we're going to start in our mountain pose. So, mountain pose, our feet are about hip distance apart. Okay, get nice comfortable. Opening up the shoulders. Okay, let the shoulder blades come down the back. Arms are just out at your sides, palms facing forward, and just slight tuck of your chin. And I invite you to close your eyes and take a deep breath all the way in your nose and out your mouth. And two more just like that. So take your time. Deep breath in the nose, filling all the way up, feeling your belly expand. And then exhale, nice and slow, out your nose. Last one. Now just falling into your natural breath. Whatever that is in the moment is fine. And just noticing the flow of your breath in the moment. Is there resistance or is there ease? And what does that feel like? So just getting curious about your breath in the moment. Allowing it to flow naturally. Now bring your attention all the way down to your feet. Feel your feet connected to the mat. Feel grounded into the mat beneath you. Feeling that support of the earth beneath you. Feeling the strength of your legs. Bringing your attention up to your belly and your chest, noticing any movement with your breath and the slight engagement of your core to help steady you. Your next exhale, softening your shoulders down your back, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your tongue. I'm going to bring one hand to the heart center, one hand to the belly. Noticing here with the flow of your breath, the subtle movement of your chest and belly. Not forcing our breath. We're just letting it flow in the moment, out any resistance. Let it be. Reminding ourselves that perseverance is not forcing. It's choosing to stay present, breath by breath. Even when things feel uncomfortable. And sending your breath now a little deeper down into the belly. Feel the expansion on the inhale. Exhale, feel the belly relax. 2 more like that. Inhale, feeling the belly expand. Exhale, belly softens. Next one, feeling the belly expand and filling up into the chest, like you're blowing up a big balloon. Exhale, chest relaxes, belly relaxes. 2 more just like that. Filling up on the inhale. Relaxing and softening on the exhale. Now coming back to our natural breath. And I invite you now to take a moment to dedicate this practice to something in your life that you know requires perseverance. I dedicate this practice to. What's that thing that's hard, that you know can bring up a lot of resistance in the moment? Dedicate your practice to that now. All right, when you're ready, feel free to open your eyes and just bring yourself back into the space. Okay, so right here in mountain pose, in our standing pose, we're going to move into some neck circles. So deep breath in. And on the exhale, you're slowly just going to bring the left ear towards the left shoulder. Let's just pause here. Option to take the right hand, palm down, and just flex that hand up. I found that just gives a little extra stretch along that right side. One more deep breath. Nice. Deep breath in. We'll release that right hand and exhale. Let's roll the neck forward till chin comes towards chest. So it doesn't have to be all the way down there, but just towards. Deep breath. Inhale, moving slowly. We're going to start to roll now that right ear towards the right shoulder. Pause here for a couple breaths. So just notice any areas of resistance. And see if you can just soften that with your breath in the moment. One more breath. And then exhale. We're going to flow a little with our breath now. So exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, ear towards left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. And let's keep flowing with our breath. So exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, ear to shoulder. Exhale. And inhale. Now, when the right ear is towards the right shoulder, just pause here for one more breath. And then exhale, chin to chest. Let's inhale, take your time, moving your head all the way back up to neutral. Right. I'm going to do a few shoulder rolls. So inhale, bringing the shoulders back and up. Exhale, shoulders forward and down. So inhale, exhale. Nice. And then we're going to switch directions. So inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. So big movements, if that feels good. Take your time, no rush. All right, last exhale. Just come back to neutral. Okay, and we'll bring ourselves all the way down onto our mat into a seated position. So seated cross leg, whatever direction feels good. And we're going to take our hands to our knees here. So take a moment, open up the chest, get nice and tall on the top of the head. Reconnect to your breath. So always, I think very important in the moment, especially when we kind of move quickly from one thing to the next, or taking those moments to reground, to recenter, to refocus, right? Perseverance doesn't mean we can't do that, right? In the moment, it's very important to refocus. And then we're in a better position to move forward. All right, so we're going to move into a few rounds of seated cat and cow just to warm up our shoulders and our spine and our upper body a little bit here. So I use the hands. Some people do prefer shin, so feel that out for yourself. For me, I prefer the knees, putting my hands on my knees for a little support. And inhale is a very similar version to that tabletop version of cat and cow, only on the inhale, we're just opening up the chest, opening up the chin, slight tilt of the pelvis. And then exhale, opposite direction. So we're tucking the chin and pelvis, curving back the spine. So you're flowing with your breath. Inhale, opening up. Exhale, tucking in. And once you get into the flow, feel free to close your eyes. Really feel in your body where you're feeling the stretch. This is a stretch I have been needing for a while. I'm feeling it now for sure. Shoulders and neck. I find over the holidays, you have that shift in schedule. Things get busy, of course. And sometimes we just lose track of the days. And taking the time on those days, just for our own little practices, our own self-care. I know this happens to me every year. Doing a little better this year, and that's okay. And I really feel grateful for moments like this when we can recenter and refocus on those fundamental things that keep us in a really good place moving forward. All right, after that last exhale, let's inhale, come back to your neutral seated position. Just pause here for a moment. Feel the space and the energy you've already started to create. Nice. Okay, let's take the legs out long, out in front. Just moving into our staff pose. So take a moment here in staff, make sure your seat's connected. The legs are out long. Now, if you got really tight hamstrings, feel free to keep a little bend in the knees if you need to. If you have the flexibility, working on flexing the toes towards your torso. Take the arms out to the side, chest is nice and open. Connect with your breath. Inhale, let's take the arms all the way up. And then exhale, hinge at the hips. You want to keep the length in the spine, keep the chest as open as possible. So for me, I can tell I have not been doing this stretch a lot recently, so I'm pretty tight here. Not much of a fold today, but that's fine, right? I am feeling the resistance right now in the moment, and I'm choosing to reconnect with my breath in the moment. See if I can create some opening, some softness, so I can move forward and still gain benefit. Find your breath. Often we'll go into a pose like that. I know I've done this where I'm like, oh, this one's not for me. I can't do this one, right? It's probably the one I need the most. So instead of quitting, can I refocus in the moment? Start where I am and just persevere, right? Continue with love, with kindness, not forcing, not hurting myself, right? And trusting that I am getting benefit. And it's amazing when we don't force, but we move into the moment with softness, how things tend to open up and the resistance can soften. One more deep breath here. All right, and when you're ready, on an inhale, slowly bring yourself back up. Take your time. I'm going to bring the soles of the feet together in cobblers for a moment here. So bringing the heels towards your torso, open up the chest, hands are on the heels. On an exhale, if you have that flexibility, feel free to come into a bit of a fold. You can bring the forearms out to support you. Stay present with your breath. All right, inhale. Let's walk ourselves all the way back up. Okay, let the legs just kind of come out and give them a little shake. Nice. Okay, and we're going to come to the head of our mat in a standing forward fold. So just take off my sweater here. It's getting a little warm. Here we go. So standing forward fold. Oh, so feet are about hip distance apart. You can keep a little bend in the knees. Just let your arms and your head just hang. Again, connecting with that breath. Let your spine decompress. Let your shoulders decompress. All right, releasing the hands down if you're in ragdoll. Inhale, let's halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we're going to sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands together, palms together, down through the midline, hinging at the hips, down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up. Upward salute. Exhale, hands down through the heart center. Inhale, sweeping all the way up. Exhale, hands down through that midline, down through the heart center, hinge of the hips, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way up. Hands down through the heart center. Planning your breath. This time, we're going to be adding in chair. Arms to the side. Inhale, sweeping the arms all the way forward. Exhale, bring your seat down as if you're sitting on the edge of a chair. Okay, and your weight is on back on your heels. So options for the arms, they can either be parallel to the floor. You can also bring hands into heart center, or they can be up at the ears, just making sure the arms are in the shoulder joint. Feeling your core strong, feeling your legs strong. Noticing if there's any resistance, feel free to adjust the arms as you need to. Right? Feeling that feeling of, oh, I don't want to be here. This is uncomfortable. Can you just come to your breath and stay? Soften in the moment. Let's go one more breath. We're almost there. Great job. Inhale. Let's bring the hands all the way up. Exhale, hands down through the heart center. We're going to come down to our fold. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Hands to the mat, stepping our right foot all the way back.
So coming initially into a supported high lunge, and we're going to take that back foot and dial the toes at a 45 so that the sole of the back foot is flat on the mat. Making sure your front knee is stacked over the front ankle. When you're ready, inhale, coming up into warrior one. So hips are square to the front of the mat. Shoulders are down from the ears. Keeping that front knee over the front ankle. One more breath. Exhale, let's open up into warrior two. Front knee still stacked over front ankle, shoulders down from the ears, arms are parallel to the ground. Feeling that resistance in the legs. Come to your breath and persevere. One more breath. Exhale, bringing a bend to the front arm, down to the front thigh. Inhale, back arm up and over, extended side angle. Your gaze can either be up the top arm, it could be forward, or it could be down at the mat, whatever feels best on your neck. One more breath. Exhale, let's reach that top arm all the way forward and down to the mat. Now we're going to walk our hands towards the long edge of the mat, coming into a standing forward fold. You can use your hands on the mat to support you. Depending on your flexibility, you can use pillows or blocks to bring the floor up to you as well. Find your breath. So for some people, this can be a pose with a lot of ease. And for some people, it can be a pose with a lot of challenge. So can you notice where you're at? Find your breath. Support yourself as needed. And stay. And continue. All right, inhale, let's halfway lift, so long spine. Exhale, we're going to walk our hands to the back of the mat. So now we're rotating so that our right foot is forward and the left foot is at the back. We're just changing direction here. We're going to bring that back foot so that it is now flat on the mat, dialing the toes at a 45. So we're in our warrior stance now on the other side. Okay, take your time. Make sure your foundation is steady here. If you're feeling a little wobbly, feel free to widen your stance a little bit. Okay, when you're ready, on an inhale arms all the way up. Making sure that front knee stays stacked. Shoulders down from the ears. Try cactus arms this time if you like. Legs are strong. One more breath. And then exhale, let's open up into our warrior two. So the torso now is flush with the long edge of the mat. Arms are down, so they're parallel to the floor. Front knee is still over that front ankle. Okay, take a little look. And if you can see that front big toe, chances are you're in a good position. Finding your breath. Noticing if there's any resistance coming up. Can you refocus with your breath? Can we persevere? One more breath. Exhale, let's bring a bend to the right arm onto that front knee. Inhale, back arm up and over, extended side angle. So feeling that long line all the way from the back leg, hip all the way up to the side body, all the way to the fingertips. Keeping the chest as open as possible. Gaze can be up, forward, or down. Now this is a bit much on the head, or the neck, you can always bring the hand to the hip. One more breath. Exhale, let's reach those fingertips all the way forward and down, walking the hands now again to the long edge of the mat. Coming into our standing wide leg forward fold. This time, option to bring the hands to the lower back and allow the hands to move forward or towards the back of our head. Nice shoulder stretch if that feels good. If it doesn't, just leaving the hands down for support. So supporting yourself as you need to, finding your breath. One more deep breath. You have the hands clasped, gently bringing them to the lower back and then releasing the clasp. Bring the hands underneath to help support you. Then walking your hands now to the front of the mat. Let's step that back foot all the way forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And when you're ready, inhaling, sweeping the arms all the way overhead. And then hands down through the heart center and at your sides in mountain. Finding your breath. Recentering. I'm taking a moment right now to feel that energy again that you've created now in your body. Feel the benefits of the practice that you persevered through. So sometimes we just have to remind ourselves, even those moments where we don't want to, after we do that thing that's really great, wow, look at the benefit. Look how much better I feel, right? Trying to train our brain to notice those benefits. All right. So feel free to, now you're at the head of the mat, we're going to move into our tree pose. So if your eyes are closed, just bring those open. And so nothing can bring up resistance more, I find for myself anyways, than a balanced posture. So tree is one of those poses. I love it because there's lots of options. You can totally support yourself in whatever way you need. And so it's more, some of us get this idea like, ooh, balance pose is really scary. I'm going to try and avoid those. I know I went through that in my practice and I still have moments of that. Like, I'm just going to like skip over that balance pose for today. But can we, knowing the benefits of these neurologically, especially, of the balanced postures, can we do them in a way, persevere through them in a way that's supportive, right? And so we can reap the benefits. So taking the arms out to the side, if you know you're struggling today a bit with balance, feel free, find a wall to just help get you started for a little support, okay? I'm going to now bring all of my focus down into my right foot, because that's going to be my rooted, grounded foot. It's going to help support me. And then slowly bringing up the left foot. So I'm starting with just bringing the sole of the foot, there we go, against that inner right calf. Okay, feel it out. Now maybe it's better with the, toe for today, maybe the toes of the left foot are still on the mat. Okay, so feel that out. That feels okay. You can work on bringing either to the calf or the inner thigh. Try and avoid that knee joint. Okay. Hands can totally stay wherever they need to be for support, right? So if that's out to the sides like this, great. If you like to try bringing the hands into the heart center, or perhaps bringing up the branches of your tree, you can try those options as well. Okay. There's no, it has to be this way, right? So feel out what feels good in your body today. Find that focus point ahead to help focus you. And remember, if you fall out, that's okay. If you stop doing the pose in the moment, that's fine. Take a breath. And then can you refocus? Can you come back in? Can you begin again? Okay. Perseverance definitely does not mean perfection. Okay. It means you keep returning. You keep returning while trying to remain, well, I'm not going to say trying, while remaining present. You return, you breathe, you get in the moment, and you return. One more breath.
Okay, and when you're ready, you can slowly start to bring yourself down and out of the pose on that side. Okay, so take a minute here. Take that right foot, give it a little TLC. And I know this is something I don't know if you're like this, but I can be an all or nothing person. So it's like either I'm not going to do the thing or I'm going to do it so much that I forget to pace myself and I burn myself out, right? So it's like, can you find that balance, right? There we are with balance again between the doing and the not doing. Taking moments of not doing to help support yourself, to breathe, right? To refocus in the moment doesn't mean that you're not going to do the thing, right? It means you're probably going to move forward and do the thing a whole lot better in upcoming moments, right? So having to remind ourselves of that truth sometimes for sure. Okay. So taking those deep breaths to help support, refocus you. Here we go. Let's bring our attention now all the way down to the left foot. Take a moment, get grounded, get centered. Okay. When you're ready, start to bring that right foot, bringing the sole towards wherever you're at. Maybe the toes are on the mat. Maybe the sole of the right foot's against the left calf, or maybe it's the left inner thigh. So feel that out. And then you can try whatever you like with the hands. Maybe it's something completely different this time. And if your chi's a little shaky, like mine is right now, that's totally fine. Come back to your breath. Remember, perseverance is not perfection. In each moment, we breathe, we refocus, and we return. Staying with your breath. If your mind starts to wander off into a whole story about something, just notice that's happened and then come back, take that deep breath, just breathe. Release that resistance. Just breathe. All right. Nice. And when you're ready, you can bring down that right foot and arms down at your side. So take a minute again, give yourself a little TLC with that left foot, left ankle. I don't know if you can see Bergie on the couch, but she is the expert of the non-doing. She understands the value of that. Absolutely. She's a great reminder. All right. So all done with our tree pose. Let's take an inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands down through the heart center, coming back into a standing forward fold. Oh, so we're going to take a moment right now just to release all effort. Deep breath. One more deep breath, just like that. Nice. And on that exhale, let's bring a bend to the knees. We're going to bring our hips all the way down to the mat. And we're going to slowly just going to roll ourselves all the way back down into the mat. Keep a bend in the knees. You can keep the soles of your feet on the mat for just a moment here. Let's bring actually the feet a little bit wider than the hips and let your knees come together. We're going to bring one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Taking a deep breath all the way into your belly, up into your chest. Exhale, release. One more just like that. Inhale into the belly and into the chest. Exhale, release chest and belly. Now fall into your natural breath. And repeating quietly to yourself, I am capable. I am strong. I am capable. I am strong. All right. You feel free to completely stay in this pose for your Shavasana if it feels really supportive. Or if you prefer, you can lengthen the legs long down the mat. Let your feet roll apart, arms out at your sides, palms facing up. And taking in one more breath. And on our exhale, just letting any effort go. Completely soften, completely relaxed. Letting yourself just rest for the last few moments. And beginning now to deepen your breath. Nice and easy. Allow yourself to slowly bring a little movement into your body. Bring a little bend to your knees if you're in the extended leg version. And slowly guide yourself onto one side for a few more breaths. When you're ready, you can slowly guide yourself back up into a seated cross-leg position. And closing your eyes for just a few moments once you arrive. And I invite you to bring to mind that thing in your life that you decided at the beginning of the practice to dedicate the practice to, something that requires perseverance. So bringing that thing to mind now. Now taking a moment to remind yourself that you are strong, you are capable, and you will continue one breath at a time. Bringing both hands, one palm on the heart, the other on top of the hand. Reminding yourself again, I continue one breath at a time. Deep breath in and out. And bringing the palms now together, thumbs pressed at the heart center. Taking a moment of gratitude for this time and space for our practice together today. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this helped to refocus you on something that might be challenging. You might have some resistance around, but you know is important to you, and that you know you are capable, right, of persevering with. So hopefully that helped you with that. All right, namaste. All right, take care until next time. Bye.